So, hello everyone. I want to welcome you to 2025 and to Cosmic Conversations. Now, I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and you are watching us on the Conscious Awakening Network. We have just been informed that our speaker had a mishap, so we have been sending some beautiful healing energy to her, but we are going to go ahead and carry on, and we are going to share with you our audience tonight. And so in just a few moments, we're going to do that. But first, what I want to do is I am going to pull up our new website because I want to share some phenomenal events that we have happening. So give me just 1 second to do that. And here we go. I'm going to share my screen. And for those of you who have not yet had the opportunity to check it out, I really encourage you to visit our new website. Now, we are still, again, in the process. You know, it's been the holidays, so my team was off, but we are continuing to upload daily. So if you visit our page, we have a brand new video that tells you a little bit about the Conscious Awakening Network and who we are and what it's all about. You can come down and sign up to be on our mailing list so that you don't miss out on any of our mailings. And you'll also see all of the different services that we have to offer. Now, one of the newer ones is we've always had our CAN radio, but we're now going to open that up for radio programming. And so we've got this phenomenal global radio station. So why not? So that'll be coming soon. We have the CAN University and our marketplace, and the marketplace is really cool because you're going to be able to submit your products in video format. And so you can describe what it is that you have, and then people will come to your site and order it. We also are always looking for content providers. So if you have phenomenal content that you'd like to have up on the site, just check this out. This is our community, which I'll go through this in just a moment, our calendar of events. If you're interested in becoming affiliate, please do that. We have a new membership program for all of our exclusive videos, and you can get started now and read all about our benefits. So what I want to share with you right now is our event. So if you click on this, it will take you to our library of events. And you can see tonight we have up our Cosmic Conversations, and these are the events that's going to be coming up. So the first one that I want to take you to is our Star Code activation. Now you can see we only have 8 days left on that. And so what I would really encourage you to do is visit the website, read all about it. We have some absolutely phenomenal speakers. I know that you can't see everyone here, but you can see we have Maureen St. James, we have Vivian Chevet, Athena, Tony, tons of people. So please check that one out. We also have Miss Kimberly coming up. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. You can go here and register. This is free. So on Friday, January the 16th, and on January the 30th, she is going to be working with members of the audience and providing free readings. And so check that out, consciousawakeningnetwork.org. Just come to this page. You're going to click right there. It's going to take you to the sign up page. Isn't she lovely? And
Yeah.
you can also sign up for some of her other products as well. So check that out. Now we have other upcoming events that I want to tell you about. Let's see, here we go. The next event that I want to share with you that's coming up on the 25th, and you can check that out. You need to register at the Universal Consciousness Conference.com, universalconsciousnessconference.com. And I'm going to be there. Patricia Walls, Peter Henson, who, by the way, is going to be our speaker on Monday. Please check that out. He is a world-renowned psychic and angelic channel. We have Barbara Catherine and Ken. We also have Bill Holmes and, of course, Shanna Tipton, who has organized everything for us. So please visit the site and check that out. The next thing I want you to do is also visit the Ascension Library. This will show you all of the various people who have their channels up. We also have our topics, the same topics that we've always had. You can check those out. And then we have our podcasting. So you can come here and this will actually show up tomorrow right here on our podcasting. Then you just click home and go back. Next, we have what we're calling our enlightenment zone. This is where we have the marketplace. So I know there's a lot of you creative people out there. So we have a place that you can sell your books, your music, conscious expanding products, oils and lotions and sprays. If you provide services, you can also list those here along with wellness and healing tools, art and visuals, jewelry, meditation, kids products, technology, gifts and bundles, and custom and handmade items. So we have a lot that people will be able to choose from. And then we're in the process of uploading all of the various courses that people can take, and you'll just kind of click here. Well, this gives you the opportunity to sign up if you are a course provider, but we will have all of our courses that people can click on. And then we have our community hub, and I'd really like for everyone to check that out. Now, this is very similar to a single Facebook page, but you can go on here, you can promote your events, you can promote a service, you can say hello, you can actually then begin to network with everyone that's on here. So we'd love to have you here, but more importantly, I want you to go back to that events. Go in and sign up for Kimberly's freebie. Visit us on the 10th and the 11th, the 11th and the 12th for this phenomenal conference. There's going to be tons of activations. A lot of new energies are coming onto the planet that you'll hear about. And then you want to anchor that in at the end of the month with this Universal Consciousness Conference. And of course, on Mondays and Thursdays, you don't want to miss Cosmic Conversations. All right, so we're going to get out of here. Now, what I want to do tonight, because our speaker has had a mishap, and anyone out there, if you want to take a few moments and send some healing energy to Kimberly, that would be greatly appreciated. But what we're going to do is we are going to talk about our clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. We're going to talk just a little bit about the experiences that you've had. So I think it's a great way to start our year off with people just sharing a little bit or maybe asking some questions about it. Also, what I would like to do is I will channel Tiamu, and we will do like a holographic grid healing and clearing first. So if everybody is ready for that, just go ahead and sit back. We're going to focus on clearing out, and please hold the attention of any blocks that are currently in your field that need to be moved out to keep you from operating in your best and highest for this coming year. Iwa nela shikiti wa kite I ni nana kadodaru shuawa e kiwa ne itini na mwa ana alakadadaru shuawa ya ekini urutua mwa aneki alaharate urushukua wayana uka eletia arkatakadarusukua wayane eki iwa ekini na rakarakara urushukua waene ihi halakara katakatadaru unana katakatadele shitiwa kaanimia maaraku ukua ka ekita eni alakashe utua wa maa alaka arititi wa na kini wa aka shini ala urukua wa ane kiena warake urukua wa yanaka shiti wa ata ushiena kiwa Elia na arako utu mua ane eki a. Utu na lari at shiti wareki dupua pa. E ni ala uruku wa ashe. Iki a la urutu wana. Ma ala kadadaru shukua waya aka a. Eki ni ala katadaru shukua yene. Inamana kate. Okay. So I hope you guys got a little action out of that, feel a little bit of movement in the field. And what I want you to do now is to go ahead and share some of the experiences that you've been having. Now, we all know that we're all connected to the collective consciousness. And as we raise our vibration, the energy that we put out affects the collective consciousness as a whole. So we can either be contributing to raising the light, or we can be actually imprinting lower vibrations in the field. It's up to us each and every moment as to where we are and what we're putting out. And so for those of you who are consciously working on raising your vibration, thank you so much, because the energies are rising. If you look from above, when I'm doing my meditation work and I'm looking down on the planet, to me, there's like little pods. It almost looks like a flower of life. Now, obviously, it's not in the shape of the flower of life, but that's what it reminds me of. And our light quota is getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And so I fully expect that in our lifetime that we're going to have that major shift that we've all talked about. And part of that major shift is us stepping into our own higher selves, stepping into our own energies, embracing that, which we already are, and anchoring it onto the planet. And some of the ways that we do that are with our gifts and some of the experiences that we're having. So I want to go ahead right now and open up if anyone has anything that they would like to share. Go ahead and either come off mute, Cindy.
Yeah, I definitely have something I want to share. In fact, it involves Kimberly. Um, on New Year's Eve day, I was replying to a friend I met in my NDE group with Sean, and I was telling him about, in the last email I wrote to him about um, activating, from my 3D to 5D self. And he was curious he wanted to know more about this 3D to 5D self. And so I gave him the resource of Kimberly's book, Awakening to the Fifth Dimension. And it got into a discussion when I started to write to him I gave him a photo, attached photo of the book. And one thing led to another, and I told him about the last time she was here and how she did that reading that was very shocking for me, and how it reminded me of the extraordinary experience that I had. That I did have this experience, like she mentioned, with an NDE, and I had never told anybody, even in my NDE group, that I had experienced Jesus talking to me in an NDE. And I mean, it was extraordinary. And not only did he talk to me, but he talked to me about a lot of things I learned later on in my metaphysical studies, way later, about thought affecting, reality. And it was actually shown to me visually on TV in demonstration, not to believe what you see on TV, because that's just what, is a small little box that is something that we're being told is the reality that somebody else wants us to see. But he did show me some scenes from the potential future, based on consciousness of humanity. it could go this way, it could go that way on collective consciousness.
Yes.
And not only collectively, but individually on my own consciousness. And ironically, the the Holy Spirit came through with him. It wasn't just him alone. I mean, I had my entire bedroom filled with the white light. And I didn't have time to say this in the meeting when she was here because it was a long, involved experience. And I'm going to write this, I'm working on my memoir, my spiritual memoir, which I'm going to put a lot more of this in. And this whole experience, I was starting to say, Spirit knew that I watched this. I'll tell you, they know everything. You
Yes,
think you're
absolutely.
alone. You're not alone. They Spirit knew I watched The Price is Right. Even something as trivial as that, but they used the example of The Price is Right. Is this thought worth that outcome? In your reality, is this thought worth that in your reality? And demonstrations were being shown to me. On the TV set, like a game
Right.
show, only used as a reality. But I mean, it's so much more. But then it led to me telling him how I was working on, my memoir, and using synchronicities and thought vibrations and frequency and even color healing and all these um, things that I'd witnessed, and spoken word. Oh my God.
Yes.
Do I have demonstrations, but guideposts along my life of synchronicities that led me along the spiritual path in my own life, but I want to use it as a demonstration for others. But I
Right.
also said I had 40 years of working in the entertainment field as a psychic and a teacher, working with major TV networks and major corporations. So I witnessed people year after year after year coming back because of that. And
Right.
I got to witness the correlation of thought creating reality, not only in my own life, but in others.
Yeah.
And I was told many years ago by a teacher, um, because I was led to metaphysical studies as a result of my interest in wanting to heal, as a result of my own physical challenges in life, that took me from the fashion industry into the psychic industry. Instead
Right.
of working on the outside healing, I ended up going into inner healing.
Yeah.
But it led to
Beautiful.
all this, and you never know what life is going to draw you to. So,
Right. Yeah.
but
Well, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate your sharing that with us. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how spirit will end up showing up in our lives and we'll begin to find all those synchronicities. And it's almost like little building blocks, just like you were saying, how our thoughts create our reality. So thank you for that. Okay, is there anyone else that would like to share anything tonight?
oh, Sheila, I just want to say one more thing. When I
Hmm.
said in with Kimberly, I was showing my right hand that
Yes.
my right hand had gotten broken originally I got hit by a drunk driver, and it was on the anniversary of my mother's passing. That's what ended my career in the fashion industry and started my work in the entertainment field.
Oh, wow. Isn't that
Oh,
interesting?
and ironically, I said that day at 12 noon, I said I was in at the Center for the Media Arts. I said, here's the spoken power of the spoken word. I said I wanted to get to I wanted a break in in the film industry. Do you know the car that hit me was a stretch limousine from the film industry?
Mm.
Talk about a break in the film industry, not the way I intended.
Well, the beautiful thing about that is when we experience breaks, in our bones, that is breaking old patterns that we have. So hopefully that will break a few for you as well, Cindy. So, you know what I think that I'd like to go
Kind of
ahead and do.
synchronicity I'm talking about. You never know how all these synchronicities are like guideposts. But yeah, you're
Right.
saying
Yeah. So thanks so much, Cindy. So, one of the things that I'd like to do with us tonight is when we're working in the field, when we're talking about working in non-ordinary reality, a lot of times that's because people are stepping in to that multidimensionality that they already are, because multidimensional beings is essentially what we are. Now, when we understand that we are multidimensional beings, we begin to broaden our perceptions of who we truly are, and we begin to allow ourselves to connect more deeply with our purpose, with our potential, and the universe around us, as well as the spiritual gifts that we already have. So, one of the things that we can do to bring in this awareness of how important it is to really start to focus on our expanded self identity. You know, we need to start recognizing the multidimensionality of our nature, because that helps us to see beyond our physical form and our everyday experiences. And it helps us to realize that we're so much more than our bodies and our immediate thoughts. Now, this expanded self identity also empowers us to be able to access different aspects of ourselves. And if you think about us being multidimensional, think of us as a crystal. And when the sun comes in and all of that fractalization is sent around, that's the different aspects of us and our multidimensional nature. And some of those can be right here, having other experiences on this planet, on other planets. It can be in other dimensions or densities, and it can even be in different timelines or universes. But when we begin to recognize and uncover our own hidden strengths, we start to connect with our own soul's journey. And that can be, as I said, through lifetimes, dimensions, etc. Now, the other thing that's important for us to remember is our greater spiritual awareness. So, when we begin to embrace our own multidimensionality, we open ourselves up to these higher states of consciousness and spiritual insights. And many of us have had those kinds of experiences. You know, a lot of times we are like way up here. We are feeling great. We are connected to spirit. Life is going great. We feel like we're on top of the world, and that phone rings and we drop right back down into our lower nature. The trick is being able to connect in and to hold that higher frequency. And just being aware can lead to profound experiences of inner peace and interconnectedness, and bring us about a sense of well-being to ourselves. And it also helps us to understand the layers of our existence and the physical reality of our spiritual essences. And so the other thing, and this is what many of us are working on right now, is the healing and the integration. You know, understanding that we're multidimensional really enables us to heal at a different level, because sometimes many of the traumas and challenges that we have are actually past lives, ancestral imprints, or experiences that we've had in other galaxies or even in other realms. And when we bring those into this reality, we're bringing them here to heal. So those very people that might really trigger you could be those individuals on the other side that have said, hey, I'm going to help you, come into life this time to be able to overcome whatever it is. And so if you feel yourself being triggered, you can rest assured that that's some healing that needs to take place. And as we do that, then we're able to look at that broader multidimensional aspect that we are, because that healing is taking place not just on this physical level, but also on all of those other layers. Now, another thing that we can do to drop into our multidimensional awareness is to be sure to connect in with our higher guidance. I can't tell you the number of people that tell me now that they are really working to anchor in their higher self. It used to be that everybody was saying, oh, I need to work with my guides. I've got to do this. I need to be able to connect here. I need to do that. But guess what? Those days are passing. And we are all dropping into that awareness of who we truly are at a soul level. And that connection brings us greater wisdom and clarity, and even allows us to align with our soul's purpose. Now, another thing that I want to talk about real quickly is the empowerment and our sovereignty. You know, a lot of times people will tell me that they are feeling they're being psychically attacked. A lot of times they'll say they don't know what to do. They feel this heaviness. They feel like there's all this negativity. And I ask them, have you claimed sovereignty? Have you stood in your own personal power and claimed your own soul sovereignty and said that you are greater than anything out there that is trying to penetrate, that they are not allowed to come into your field? Because if not, stepping into your empowerment and your sovereignty allows you to reclaim your own power. And you can learn that, you know, we're not really bound by any physical circumstances or limitations. And learning to rely on your own self to work within this field only strengthens our own holographic field. And then one other thing I want to mention is, you know, like being in service and understanding that when we step into our multidimensional nature, we automatically want to start stepping into, you know, being in service to humanity. You know, I bet if I ask people right now on this call, how many people are in service to humanity, all of your hands would go up. Because in one way or the other, what you do is affecting. If you help people, if you just sit and listen to people, sometimes that is one of the greatest gifts that you can give people. You know, obviously having healing businesses and those types of things, those are important too. But it's those everyday moments that really begins to build us up. Now, Kathy, you have your hand up. Do you want to share something?
Yeah, I wanted to mention something. I've had different things. Clair cognizance is, my main clair, and then the clairsentience, but I won't go into that because it just is something I've had since I was young, and things just, I don't know, I just know things, or things just kind of like come into your mind. But what I
Right?
wanted to say was, this has been happening for years. And when you were talking about parallel lives, and I have no idea if this is other lives or whatever, but sometimes it happens a lot, generally, when I'm out, whether I'm running errands or whatever. And a lot of times when I park my car and I feel like the car is moving,
Hmm.
and when I look, I kind of go into that panic, like, oh my God, like, the car's moving, but I turned it off and the parking brake's on. But when I look outside the window, and, like, it seems like, I don't know if I'm always trying to observe, and I haven't been able to figure it out. If I'm like on the outside, looking in, or I'm on the inside looking out, and it's like
Mhm.
I'm in a different uh, space. It's
Yeah.
it's so I don't know what that is.
Well, there's a lot of people that have been talking about that. And when I've been working with my collective, many of those people are having timelines that are collapsing around them. And so as these timelines start to collapse, it's almost like you feel this whoosh of energy that kind of washes through you. And it gives you almost a disassociative feeling, just like what you're talking about. am I in
Right.
my body looking out, or, exactly what's going on here? But I really appreciate you bringing that up because, I really want to take just a minute and talk to you guys about all of the different clairs, because I know most of you already know this, but maybe there's somebody listening or watching that really is like, what are these clairs that they keep talking about? So, the clairs are really a group of psychic or intuitive abilities, and a lot of them correspond with our senses. Not all of them, but some of them do correspond with the senses, and they allow us to be able to receive spiritual or energetic or, just non-physical information in a variety of ways. And so when you hear people talk about clairvoyance, that's another name for like the clear seeing. And this gives us the ability to see images or symbols or even visions in people's eye, through our third eye. And we begin to see flashes of images, or it feels like we're seeing dreams or auras. Okay, if that happens to you, then you might be clairvoyant. So you want to check that out. And the other one is the clairaudience, and that's the clear hearing. So that provides, when you're clairaudient, you're able to hear messages. You hear words, sounds, sometimes frequencies that are coming from, spiritual sources, your guides, your angels, or higher consciousness. And I will bet many of you at one point or another have been doing something and be like, hey, Kathy, Kathy, Kath, you'll hear somebody call out your name, and that is a form of clairaudience. Now, there's also clairsentience, and in my opinion, when you have the clairsentience, and that's that clear feeling, you know what you know that you know, and there is no one that can tell you you don't know, because this is your own ability to feel and to sense energies or emotions, or, like physical sensations from people or places, or even from spiritual entities. And a lot of times it comes as that gut feeling. A lot of times you can walk into a room and it's like, you know what? There's something weird that just went on in here. I wonder if there's been an argument. I wonder what's happened here. And you just feel it. You know in your gut that something has really happened. And then there is that clear cognizance, and that's the clear knowing that you know that you know that you know beyond. And when you know that you know and you have the feeling, that's more of the physical sensation, but the claircognizance is that just knowing. It just fills your body, every cell of your being. You just know without any kind of logical reasoning or prior information or anyone giving you that kind of information. You just know. Then there is one of the clairs where it's the clear smelling, and that
Okay.
way you perceive scents. Sometimes people will say, I smell roses. My son, I work with him during the week, and he's always saying, Mom, come in here and smell this. Sometimes it'll smell like tobacco, or it'll smell like Palo Santo, or a lot of times there are floral essences. And when you smell the florals, a lot of times they say that's the Sophia energies that are coming in. Roses are specifically associated with Mother Mary and bringing that kind of energy in. Then there's like that clear tasting. How many of you have all of a sudden just got that? You're around somebody, maybe you're doing healing work, and you get this metallic taste, or you get these funky tastes that makes your tongue feel like it's gonna turn inside out. That also is one of the gifts, and that's the ability to taste substances or flavors without any kind of a physical contact. And so a lot of times when you have that, it can be associated with like a memory or a person or even a spiritual message that's coming through. Okay. Then there's the clear touch or the psychometry, where you pick up an object and you know the information associated with it. Maybe it is you're holding something in an antique store and all of a sudden you have this flash of somebody, or you have a scene that starts to unfold in front of you. All of these are different. All these are different gifts. Now, when I say gifts, I want to maybe back up, because I think that they are actually part of the structure that we come in with. And we view those as gifts because it's almost like a gift we're giving to somebody when we share these. But I really believe that it's part of our structure. And some people, it's meant for them to uncover that, or to develop that, or to step into that structure. And other people, it's not necessary. They have other things that's going on with them. And so all of these things that we have talked about tonight, yes, they have to do with the clairs. They have to do with stepping into remembering the multi-dimensionality of ourselves. And so I really encourage you to really sit back and to think about it, because I'll bet every single person watching this or listening to this can say at some time in their life, they've had these experiences. And they don't have to be super profound. I find that a lot of times that people are saying, I really want to shift. I want to change. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they're not paying attention to all the little subtle things that are taking place in their life. And it's all those little bitty subtleties that really shift our reality. Okay, I'll be quiet again. And does anyone else have anything that they would like to share about that? Pat, how about you? I see you come on here all the time and participating with us. Do you have anything you'd like to share?
Each day is a new journey, energetically.
Absolutely.
It's totally, and sometimes my dreams are amazing, like I could be a nurse or something, or, it's just wild. It's wild dreams.
Yeah. And yeah, a lot of times, our dream life feels so much more real than the reality that we're in.
Yeah.
And that can also be when you're astral traveling, and you can be actually living these other lives during your dream time. Because when we step out of non-ordinary reality, we're stepping into non-linear time.
Yeah, I believe that. And I stay heart-centered, do breath work through the heart. And if I'm feeling some negative energy or whatever, I just stay my heart and just, send love to it.
That's beautiful.
Angels for guidance. We can always ask our angels for guidance. They're always there for us.
Awesome. That's facts. Thank you.
We are God.
Yeah.
We are God in human form.
That's right. Having these individual experiences. Wonderful. Thank you. Sabrina, you have your hand raised?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I want to thank you for explaining all those, because I've had quite a few of those, and I'm still new on this side of it, of metaphysical. I'm more involved with radionics and dowsing. I run the dowsing chapter here in Colorado, and it's really the tasting is really what's one of the more unusual one is, like even today I got a letter, I opened it up, and next thing I knew I flunked it. It was advertisement. And my husband says, "What's the matter?" I says, "That is tasting so bad. It's turning my stomach." He goes, "What the hell are you talking about?" But the other one I wanted to ask you about is anybody ever gone to bed, closed their eyes, and I can look around my bedroom while my eyes are totally shut? Is there such a thing, or am I just going crazy?
Oh, no. No, no, no. I have experienced that many times myself. And when I'm seeing, it's almost like it's an opaque scene. It doesn't have the same colors, but I
No.
believe what's happening is we're already beginning to step out of our bodies and we're looking. Well, first off, I know we're looking through our third eye. And the second thing is, I believe that we're starting to step out of our bodies before we take off at night. And so, as we're falling asleep, you have to remember too that we're dropping into that theta state. And when we're in the theta state, that's where you drop into for hypnosis. Okay. And when you start to wake up and the body is everything's coming back to life and your senses are all coming online, you also are in a theta state. And that's why so many times it's really great to read something uplifting before you go to bed or even listen to beautiful music. Or even, you can listen to a podcast or a meditation because as you fall into that theta state, that's when you really begin to absorb the information. And you have to realize too, from the time that an infant is born until about 7 or 8 years of age, they really operate in a theta state because that's when they're absorbing everything. That's when all their patterning is beginning to develop.
Well,
And so when we're in that theta state, it's an awesome opportunity that we can begin to work on our own patterns or to set up new situations for ourselves.
well, the thing with dowsing is that you're in that state no matter what.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you're on the physical and in this theta state because that's the way I receive, and that's the way, my body. And the thing about when I do douse, a lot of the time, it's again one of the other things you said. I don't need that pension, especially if I'm doing healing. They
yeah,
tell me what I need to put in and whatever, and people say, how do you know that? I don't know. It's not me. It's not me.
right,
It's just I'm being downloaded as I'm doing this.
right.
So,
Can you explain to people a little bit about how dowsing works?
okay, basically what dowsing is, this is the way I explain it, is you make a connection through your pineal, so your pineal needs to be open to that big computer in the sky. You ask a question, and that question goes into the computer. The computer sends back the information, travels down your right arm or usually it's your right arm, but whatever arm is that you use your pendulum, and that's what makes the pendulum move. In my case, I use my body does it. I use every part of my body. I don't need just that pendulum for me to connect with that computer. I know it sounds crazy, but that's
Yeah, cool. Well,
without going
thank
into a
you.
lot of details.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that because some people may not be aware of what that is. And thank you for sharing your experience of taste.
Thank you. Yeah, it's an odd one.
Hey, is there anyone else that would like to share? Hey, Catherine, I see you sitting back there. I know you've got something to share with everybody. You want to come off mute and just talk for just a brief moment? Oh, you're still on mute, honey. Oh, I
Just a
think
sec.
she's having. There you are.
Hi. Well, I have to say I'm not very confident of this stuff yet. So, um, I actually have had a little experience today that I was actually doing a session with video or with Vivian Chevet. And when we went to do a little part of it and I closed my eyes, what I saw was a face had white hair, but its facial system was a darkish color. I'm not sure what it was, who it was. So
Mm.
I'm open to whatever.
Yeah. Well, beautiful. Well, maybe as you're going to sleep tonight, if you put out the thought that you would like to be able to connect with that energy and see if they have a message for you, that would be kind of cool.
That's what I plan on doing.
Yeah,
Yes. And I
great.
just want to mention, Sheila, that I've received your book, your second one.
Oh,
I just started it. So far, so good. I love your work. I just
oh,
love it.
thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Can I add
Okay.
something, Sheila?
Oh, okay.
When she was explaining, I don't know if this makes sense, but I call it transfiguration. Is what it is if you unfocus your eye and you go in into a deeper, the room needs to be semi-dark. It works better. But what you do is you concentrate on someone, and that person actually is changing their feature right in front of you. And what I believe, I might be wrong, it's either your guides or your past life, what you look like. So you're seeing a part of you that was you in another lifetime. And the first time I did it was scary, but now it's just such a fun thing to do. To just, candlelight works the best, or just a dim light, and just face. You can do this in your bathroom, face the mirror with the light really low and look at it, and you can see yourself changing. And it's amazing how many faces will come up. And like I said, I was told it's part of me from different
Yeah.
lifetimes. But
And
that's
that
a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and that feeds right back into the multidimensionality nature that we were talking about. Because, you have to remember that we are, just like Pat said, we are those individuated sources, of God. We are, we carry that divine spark in us. So there's really nothing impossible. But that having been said, we are all ancient beings, and we're here to have this phenomenal experience. And, when you go to someone, I have people just today, someone said, gosh, you told me something totally different. Does that mean that they're wrong? And I'm like, you know what? We've been talking for an hour and I'm looking at this, I mean, not even a grain of sand in eternity, of what we have done and what we have experienced over time. And so you have to remember that a lot of times, just like you were saying, when you have dreams, Pat, you may be a nurse in another dimension. You may be remembering another lifetime. When we go on to craft, a lot of people say, oh, well, I dreamed this, and this. Ask yourself in the morning after these dreams, how real did that feel? Because maybe you actually were stepping into one of the multidimensional aspects of yourself, and maybe you were piloting the craft, or maybe you were on an exploration, or maybe you were serving as someone else's guide. So think about that. We all have had all of these phenomenal experiences, and there's not one of us, more important than the other, or, we have this gift or that gift. It doesn't make us any different from anyone else because we are all having this experience together. And so I really appreciate you guys sharing some of the experiences that you've had. I appreciate you guys showing up here, week after week. We'll be back again on Monday night, and I hope you'll be joining us then. And if you ever have any questions, pop them in the chat, get a hold of people, share your stories, because as you share, you're also imprinting out into that collective consciousness. When you're helping to uplift someone, you're raising the vibrational frequency. So don't ever discount that, I'm not really doing anything. I don't feel like I'm contributing, because if you're here on this planet right now, you definitely are here contributing. The frequency that you carry is needed and necessary for this shift that's going to be coming. And so I wish all of you a wonderful, wonderful new year. And I hope that you have a blessed time. You have phenomenal experiences. Your dream time is rich. If you desire those clairs to come online, that they start to show up for you. So whatever it is that you want, remember, if you put that thought into it and that energy connects with it, you can manifest your reality that you're seeking. So thank you guys so much for being here. Much love to everyone, and I will see you next time. So namaste. Good night, everybody.